2026 is going to be an awesome year. We got some pretty cool stuff coming up. First off, we got Foundations of Recovery. This is our flagship program. We're starting it in January.
This is for anyone, man, woman, or couple who wants to come and reclaim their heart from shame, trauma, and betrayal. We start off with an education on all sorts of principles, give you the common language. We feed you from a fire hose in terms of all things recovery.
It is such a great start to recovery. And we get at the roots of things, Tyler. This isn't like any other program. Like, this is our healing journey in process, and Foundations is where we begin.
If you look at the value that you're getting there to kick off a good recovery with all of the right education, all of the right language, and a team to get you started while also being directed by Brannon and myself through the whole process, what a deal.
So if you're interested, if you're struggling, if you've been wanting to do something for a long time, jump into this. This only comes around every so often, and we would love to have you there.
Click the link in the description to sign up for it. And to make it even sweeter, we're also including a raffle for a free pass to the Radiant Dawn retreat. Anyone who signs up for Foundations will be added to the raffle for that free Radiant Dawn pass. If you're a man and you sign up for Foundations, your name still gets entered, and you can give that pass away if you win it to any woman that you want to.
So what you're saying, Tyler, is if you sign up and participate in Foundations, you could possibly go to Radiant Dawn for free?
That's exactly what I'm saying, which is crazy because Foundations by itself is already an insane value.
Man, I sound so salesy. But it actually is awesome. So come to Foundations. And even if you don't come to Foundations, sign up for Radiant Dawn. It's beyond therapy, the best healing experiences that you can have.
Click the link below and come join us.
I know the next steps, but I can't seem to get myself to do it.
Welcome to the Therapy Brothers podcast.
I'm Brannon.
I'm Tyler.
We're brothers.
We're therapists.
And we know recovery.
Bring your stories, your questions, your successes with real recovery.
Hey, Tyler, you ready to have some hard conversations?
Let's do it.
Let the Therapy Brothers podcast begin.
Brannon, how's it going, man?
Oh, it's good. Super Bowl weekend's always a good weekend.
Yeah.
So my buddy Buck, shout out to Buck. He's thrown a Super Bowl party for 30 years, and so we call it Buck Bowl. So it was Buck Bowl weekend, and we do a golf tournament and watch sports and hang out, and yeah.
So it's not just a game anymore, it's a whole weekend.
Oh yeah, no, we go down to St. George, we golf for 3 days, and then watch the ball game. And
I've heard about the things that Buck throws, and he goes all out.
Oh, Buck!
It's not just a normal party.
Buck, he loves to smoke meat, and he takes care of us like really good, really well. So that's what we did on the weekend. And so yeah, shout out to Buck, he's the man. And just shout out to good friends. I gotta say, like, just being around my boys, and just it just enhances life so much. So
oh man, what a big deal.
It was a good weekend. Yeah.
Well, Brannon, should we jump into it?
Let's do it.
All right, we got a guest on today. Liz is with us. Liz, it's been so long that we didn't even recognize Liz, but Liz was actually on the show back in November of 2021. So she's been on this journey for quite a while. Liz, we're glad you're here with us.
Thanks.
Tell us a little bit about what's going on for you, whatever information we can be helpful with, and then ask your question. We'll jump into it.
All right. Yeah, it's been a while. It's been a long journey. Right now I'm at the place where behaviors haven't changed. We're kind of stuck in the same pattern of just the addiction pattern, and trying to recover from that. And then something else happens a few months later, and I'm tired of being on the roller coaster, and I know it's time for a change. I know nothing changes if nothing changes. And I'm ready to do something different. I'm ready to separate, possibly divorce if I need to. And I I know what steps I need to take as far as like where to find a place or who to contact. And I freeze, and I don't know why I freeze. And then I don't do anything because I'm frozen. And then time goes by because I'm frozen, and it gives my husband the indication that I'm not actually going to follow through with it. And I feel so stuck.
What are some of your biggest fears?
Starting off with an easy question, I see.
Let's dive right in.
The big one is for my kids. I have 2 small boys. How is it going to affect them? Am I going to be able to stay where I live, or is my life going to drastically change as far as where we live? And then the biggest fear is just doing this on my own.
I think those fears are very valid. And so on one hand, you have those, and on the other hand, something's telling you you're not living in your truth, and you're not moving forward in your life. So you're kind of stuck between those two, right?
Yeah. It's the past probably 2 years. He has decided when he doesn't agree or drinks too much that he will just say whatever he wants to say. And he said some pretty hurtful things, sometimes in front of the boys. And that's not okay. And that's really where it's hit my limit, is I can't let them think that this is okay.
How old are the boys?
7 and 4.
7 and 4. And is he drinking a lot? Does he drink often?
It comes and goes. It's been an issue for 8 years. He knows that it's been an issue, and he's stopped for a while and started again, and it's not an excess like it used to be. So it is better, but he's never completely stopped. And after he's had one, he just becomes a different person. Gotcha. Like we all do.
Mm-hmm.
So Liz, I'm sure it's been quite a journey for you, even just in the last 4 years since the first time we talked to you. How have you sort of come to the conclusion that you know what the next right steps are? Like what kinds of things have happened? What kinds of insights have you had? What kinds of emotional state are you in that have led you to kind of this place of knowing what the next steps are, even though it's scary to take them?
I've kind of kept a journal of things that have happened for the past 4 years. And I have gone back and looked at it and realized it's the same stuff. Like there's a pattern. My close friend and my family knows, and they've all kind of come to me recently and said, this isn't working. This isn't good for you. But the main factor is, like I said, in front of the kids. They're old enough now to start picking up on what's going on. And I don't want that for them at all.
Okay. So in terms, and this is maybe a hard one to answer, maybe you don't have an answer for this, but I'm kind of wondering what the emotions are that are helping to drive the decision as well. Is this something that it's like I'm exasperated and tired and worn out? Is it something that I'm resentful and angry? Is it something that I'm overwhelmed? Is it something that's more of like a peaceful sort of like, dang it, this sucks, but this is the right way forward? What is your gut telling you about all of this?
It's all of the above. I'm not going to take this anymore. I've had enough. I am human, and it's emotionally affecting me. I keep getting sick. I struggle with being emotionally available to work and to my kids. It's sometimes a peaceful resignation of just, this is the pattern, and I'm going to try to make a new one. Sometimes it's anger Sometimes it's the mama bear in me coming out and saying, don't you dare do this to my children. It's everything. It's all of them, all of the time.
It's like a big stew of all those emotions together.
Yeah.
Do you still love him?
Yeah. He's a great guy when he wants to be. He's a great dad when he wants to be. I still really like hanging out with him. But I don't get that consistently. I don't know who he's going to show up as. And that's the hard part, is like, I do really care for this man.
That's what sucks. It would be easier if you hated him, honestly.
Absolutely. Yeah. And it'd be easier if he hated me. But right now he doesn't. And he keeps asking me to give him another chance and just wait again. And it's so hard to say no to someone that I love who's asking me to wait.
Well, and you've waited a long time now. You know, it's that thing where at what point, even if you love him and you want him to change, at what point are you then kind of betraying yourself because you're waiting and waiting and waiting, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
It sounds like you're to that point where it's like, okay, time to kind of let go of the rope here and move forward. But there's this other part of you that's like, nope, gonna hang on, just gonna hang on. So the good news, Liz, is that you're conscious of your stuckness. That's the good news. A lot of people aren't even conscious of it. The bad news is that's an excruciating place to be in.
Yeah.
When you are conscious of it, it's a tough place to be in. And the next step is stepping into the cave. The next step is actual action. Like embracing some groundlessness for a little while, which is all of us in many ways hate it. We don't want to do it. And so the question is, this is a great question, is what's going to get you past that threshold? What's going to get you to the point where you do make some decisions that are really scary, but you stay steady in those decisions, right?
Yeah.
So, Tyler, anything you want to add?
Yeah, just maybe a little exercise. And you've probably done versions of this without knowing you've done it, but being intentional with it might be a little bit helpful here. You mentioned a couple things. I'm just going to reference them again really quickly. You said your fears are my kids. How's this going to affect them? My lifestyle change. How and where am we going to live? How's that going to affect our life? Because these are real questions that have real consequences to them. And then the last one is can I actually do it on my own? And that's the fear of the unknown, right? That's Frozen, like the movie Frozen, like into the unknown,
And Tyler, can I add one?
Sure.
It's the pain and the grief of the loss of the relationship, because she still loves him, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Throw that in there too.
And the hard part is that the healthier way of moving through this is to actually allow yourself to see him as a human being and love him while still making the decisions. But that makes the decision harder.
Yeah.
But that's the healthier way to navigate it. But I want to just ask you, let's take any one of those for a minute and just do this exercise with me. Let's take lifestyle change. I don't know if I'm going to be able to stay where we live. Things are going to change. What's it going to look like? If you were to sit with that and actually go into and towards it, like almost envision yourself having to go all the way through it. Like all the chaos that's there, all the fears that are there, have to look every single fear in the face. And imagine it's all in one big room together. And you walk in through one door and you see all of this stuff, the fear that you have to navigate, what could happen, the woulda, shoulda, couldas, what possible outcomes there could be. And across the room through all of the chaos, there is an older, wiser version of yourself sitting there at a table waiting for you to get there. Can you imagine yourself noticing all of those fears, navigating through the room, and then getting yourself to sit down in front of the older, wiser version of yourself at the table?
Yes.
And then you get to look at that person in the face and they have something for you. They have a message or a feeling or some eye contact or something, what is it that that older, wiser version of you needs and wants you to know?
That I can have peace, that I can have love without condition.
Mm. Can you feel the sense of the truth from that future version of yourself?
Yeah.
Yeah. In a sense, that future version of yourself is letting you know that besides all the fear and the struggle, there's going to be a payoff and you're going to be okay. You're going to be okay. Your kids, there will be struggles, but there's a future version of yourself on the other side of that room that's waiting for you to get there, and it has a message for you. And if you can find what that message is, then you can use that energy to then go and make whatever the next step is. And right now, they're all smushed together. So it's like, man, I don't know, like the kid thing, but then what about living? And it's like, holy cow, like what if we were to take them one step at a time, start with envisioning yourself working all the way through that, and then maybe even asking if there's some things that you could do right now to prep yourself for the individual thing you're looking at. Let's take living, for instance. Is there anything that you could do to help yourself prep yourself for that decision that you know you have to make?
I have an idea of what this could look like, of what I want the future in regards to where I live and how that all looks. I think the scary part of that is I don't know how he's going to respond. And on one hand, he could say, let's do this for the benefit of the kids and do it this way. On the other hand, he could not and make this 20 times harder.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's the question is
which side note, by the way, if that's who he is and that's what he does, that's more reason for you to do it.
Yeah. If he's going to make it 20 times harder, your decision is absolutely right.
Yeah. Where you're saying, well, if he does that, I'm scared, so I don't know if I want to take that step. Yeah.
So yeah, so take that. So let's take the 20 times harder version, because that is a possibility. Does that future version of yourself still look at you and say, you're going to be okay?
Yeah, she looks a little farther away.
Yeah,
but
you got to navigate a few other things.
The room's a little bigger, but yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So the room got bigger, but at the end of the day, you can navigate through that room to a future self that whatever the life experiences are that you're going to have to navigate end with you being okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Liz, I have a couple things. First off, I want to ask you, can you do hard things?
Heck yeah.
Heck yeah. Okay. I like that answer. Do you have some examples?
Yes. Last year, he had to travel out of the country for 3 months for work. I single parented for 3 months without him. That was extremely hard.
That is hard. That's really hard, especially young kids like you have.
I ended up getting sick a lot during that time, so I was trying to take care of myself and them on top of that. So that was hard.
That is hard. So, I love your answer. Heck yeah. Yeah, I mean, Liz, you've had 2 kids, right? There is like,
the hardest thing.
Yeah. I mean, come on. Like, so that you've shown that you can face pain, you can go through pain, and you can come out on the other end. There's a part inside of you, a protective part that's dominating you, that's making you forget that you have that true self part in you that is pretty badass and pretty tough and can step into the hard stuff. And what Tyler was doing in many ways was trying to help you invite that up, that part of you, because that part is kind of stuffed down pretty far here. Yeah, you know she's there. You know she's in you, right, Liz?
Yeah, I actually am a triathlete, so I've done some pretty crazy races, like half Ironmans, and it's a 7-hour, 8-hour race. So it's not easy.
We could use analogies from that all day long here.
The weird part is like physical pain doesn't. I mean, it's physical pain, so I can say, this won't last. It'll go away.
But Liz, it's emotional pain too. Like it's sitting in that emotional physical. Tyler and I have run races, and it's so much more than that. Like there is a part of you that endures emotionally and physically, and I'd say even spiritually when you're in a tough, long race, right? Those parts of you can come forth with this as well. You can invite them forward with this. And I get it. Like this might be 10 times harder than a race, but those parts are in you.
It's kind of interesting, Brannon, that she's sitting here saying, I've done a half Ironman, but this thing in front of me is way harder than a half Ironman.
Yeah.
And yet if you look at it, like the way the brain's going to interpret it, the brain is actually going to be activated in the same ways that it does when you try to step through the pain of an Ironman. It's going to recognize the pain. It's going to try to get you to stop and slow down because it's like, whoa, if you jump off this cliff, you could hurt yourself. That's the brain doing its job. But then you also have this clear part that's deep down inside, the part that knows it can do an Ironman, the part that's been through the hell of that before, the part that, Brannon, do you remember when I did my first marathon, Brannon?
Oh, I'll never forget that. Holy cow.
It's like I train, physical part by miles. It started raining like
it was a horrible marathon too. It was like mile 19 that you had to run up a giant hill.
Yeah, mile 19, mile 17 to 19 was like a straight up hill, and it broke me like emotionally. Brandon's talking about all those things that broke me emotionally, spiritually. I went to the darkest, deepest places of my life. Meanwhile, my family like drives by me like cheering me on, and I'm like sobbing while I'm running.
It's raining on him, and it's he's miserable.
Just like the deepest depths of like my own personal hell. And then right at the end of the line where there's like 1 mile left, they're standing there and Brannon starts doing this slow clap, like trying to like make fun of me, but all I can do is just like cry and tell him that I love him, it snapped me in half,
Yeah.
But principally speaking, what I learned in that journey of the training, the discipline, the leaning into the discomfort, the waves. Have you had this, Liz, in your training? Have you had like seen how your body works in waves where you 1 minute you're like, dude, I can do like another 20 miles. And then like a mile later, you're like, oh my gosh, I am dead.
Yeah.
But then, you just keep going. And about 5 minutes later, you're right back to like, no, I got 20 miles in me. Those principles are true principles, whether it's emotional pain or physical pain. It's how you're built. It's how you're wired. It's what your body and brain are going to do. It's what your spirit is going to do. And it's actually wasting your energy to try to stop those waves from happening. You're actually causing more suffering for yourself by standing in the holding pattern than you are to put on your shoes and go out and start running. And the torment and the torture is actually going to be self-inflicted when the paralysis is the thing that's in charge. You already have the fears. You already have the logistical things that have to be worked out that are going to suck. Those are going to suck. And now you have to beat yourself up for not doing it. And that's the suffering on top of the suck.
Yeah.
Instead of just saying, I'm going Well, the shirt I'm wearing today is specifically for you, Liz. Here's a God wink. You can see it.
I can.
It says embrace the suck. Like, that's where you find yourself right now. And you've got proof of who you are in the ways that you've already lived your life.
The focus, it's easy for us to say, Liz, that you're a badass, that you can do this, that you can step through this, that you can get through this. It's easy for us to say that. But the truth is that it's going to be uncomfortable. Do you have the ability to do this? Absolutely. But where I would focus right now, if I were you, is what I see is that what you're struggling with is trusting yourself. When you bring up these fears and these issues, it's like, I don't know if I can do this. I don't know if I can, like, will I be stable? Can I go through the grief? And the truth is where I would focus is realizing that you are strong, that you can get through this, and focus on it. Have you ever read Shel Silverstein's The Giving Tree? Do you know what that is?
He was one of my favorite authors as a kid.
Yeah. So what's the kind of the gist of The Giving Tree? Do you know? I'm putting you on the spot here.
I know it's been a while.
I can give it to you really fast. The tree is there, and it's a friend, and this kid comes and rakes the leaves and uses the leaves, and then the kid comes back again and again, and every time takes the fruit, then takes the branches and uses the branches for something, eventually chops the trunk down, and the tree ends up being just a stump. And the tree says, I wish, this was a quote from it, I wish that I could give you something, but I have nothing left. How is this applicable to you?
That's kind of how I feel in my marriage. Is I notice myself not being the supportive wife that I started out being, and I don't have anything left to give him in that way.
Yeah, you're a stump. It's like, and the truth is, and you know this, and I'm going to say it, but you know it. It is not good for your children to see, like, you wasted away. What is good for your children to see is a woman who is a bad A, who does step into her truths, who grows fruit and leaves and all those things, regardless of someone else trying to take it. Right? And you have the ability to hold strong here and not settle for getting taken advantage of. You have that. Have you ever read You Are a Badass by Jen Sincero?
I don't think so.
You should check that out. It's a fun read. But it will remind you a little bit of like who you actually are, and it'll help you call forth those parts of you that can be strong through the pain. So,
Liz, I know that we're going to be fairly short on time because you have a hard stop here in a minute. I just want to share maybe a couple of thoughts logistically with where you're currently at. Your brain is already kind of moving into the realm of, well, I'm going to have to figure out housing. I'm going to have to figure out quality of life. I'm going to have to figure out how to wrestle with this with my kids as there's a transition if I make these choices that I feel kind of called to make. And that's why I was asking earlier, is the peaceful, grounded part of you that kind of knows the truth is the part that needs to make these decisions, because then you can fall back on that when it gets hard. But I would recommend that you take each one of those line items and, as best as you can, you create a roadmap of small steps that could be taken, even just to prep you before you make the big decision. And if you're doing that, you're doing what you can, which means there's nothing else to worry about except for stepping over the edge. And then as you step over the edge, if you have a good team in place, people who know what you're doing, who support you to make your own choices, to live your values, you're going to have that support and structure that's going to help hold you in place as you make those decisions and then get reacclimated. It's like, in a certain sense, what you're doing is, you ever bought a goldfish and you bring it home and you put it in the water to get the whole temperature to be the same before you just dump the fish in. Otherwise, it kills it. That's kind of what you're going to need when you make the change. You're going to need that support team. You're going to need your tools, some grounding skills, some emotion regulation skills, some self-care skills. And if you'll do that, you will get used to the new water. And then there will come a time where you're going to look back a year or 2 or 3 or 5 or 10, and you're going to go, man, I'm really glad I made that choice. It's been a while since I've quoted a poem, so I'm going to give you one.
Yeah. Hey, you're one of the lucky ones, Liz.
That's something I might have even said it on the first one like 5 years ago when we talked to you. So, but you've heard it before. It's a famous poem, but I think this applies to you in your situation right now, Liz. And it says, it's by William Ernest Henley, and it's the Invictus poem. It says, out of the night that covers me, black as the pit from pole to pole, I thank whatever gods may be for my unconquerable soul. In the fell clutch of circumstance, I have not winced or cried aloud. Under the bludgeonings of chance, my head is bloodied but unbowed. Beyond this place of wrath and tears, and this is the line I was thinking of for you, beyond this place of wrath and tears looms but the horror of the shade. And yet the menace of the years finds and shall find me unafraid. It matters not how straight the gate, how charged with punishment the scroll. I'm the master of my fate. I'm the captain of my soul. You don't know what's out there, but you know that it's the right thing to do. There's going to be pain either way. You might as well take the pain of staying congruent with who you are.
You know what your truths are.
What are you thinking, Liz?
I think that's my problem. I think I overthink it. I process and process and process and try to find all the answers, and then I don't move. So I think I just need to move.
Liz, we met with you almost 4 years ago, and that's a good amount of time. And Tyler and I never tell anybody when the time is right to divorce, because I believe that's between you and God. But what I'm feeling from you, just to reflect it back, is I feel like you've gotten your answers. Like, it seems like you're pretty clear that you've gotten your answers, and now you have to talk yourself out of things. So Tyler and I aren't going to give you your answers. You already got them. Right. So then you got to, what Tyler was talking about, your next little steps, and one step at a time to move forward. Each step's going to be hard. But you're going to be okay. I really quickly, like, I've done therapy for, I don't know how long, forever now. And, that people come in when massive change is happening in their life. And a lot of times it's divorce, and they look at it from the front end and they're terrified, and they don't know what's going to happen. What is their life going to be? How's it going to end up? And what's amazing is, as I look back on seeing all of these divorces, it's amazing how resilient people are and how they can go create better things in their life and just have awesome things happen when they step into their truth and their integrity and live there. And I'm not saying, it's just going to be rainbows and butterflies moving forward, Liz. But you don't know what you don't know, and you don't know the good stuff either. You don't, like, it could be 10 times better in terms of your security and all the things that you listed. But you have to sit in the you don't know what you don't know for a minute in order to get there. Right?
Right.
So, Liz, thank you for coming on again. Really appreciate you. I hope this was helpful for you in some way.
It is. Thank you guys for what you do. I always listen to what you guys have to say.
Yeah. Well, thank you. Thanks for your willingness to put yourself out there and share, because what you're going through is what somebody else is going through too. So those of you listening, if there's any meaning in this for you, or if you know somebody who would benefit from this, please feel free to share it with them. Allow us to be able to reach as many people as we can to try to help. And Liz, thanks again. And to the rest of you guys, keep on keeping on.